Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Diezel VH4 versus modelers. This series has been epic so far. We've done the Line 6 Stadium XL, we've done the Fractal Audio AM4, we did the Fender Toastmaster Pro, and today we're going to do the one that I've been looking forward to the most, which is the Neural DSP Quad Cortex. Can the Neural DSP Quad Cortex emulate the sound of a real Diezel VH4? Let's find out. And this one is going to be a little bit more in-depth since we're going to compare the real amp to the stock amp model, a V1 capture and a V2 capture. Now before we carry on, I want to make you aware that I did release a capture pack, a Neural V2 capture pack of this entire amp in all its glory. 24 captures, real speaker captures, DI captures, all channels, various settings. Sounds awesome, super accurate. Check that out in my web store if you're interested, if you want to support the channel. I've talked about all of the details in the previous episodes, but real quick for the people who haven't seen those other episodes, why am I doing the VH4? Well, first of all, it's just a really cool amplifier, but it's also very unique sounding with some really quirky traits, sonically speaking, some really interesting dynamic behavior. Sounds awesome, very raw, and nothing sounds like it. And I think personally that it's very hard to model, especially based on all the comparisons so far. None of the platforms so far have been able to nail the sound of the real VH4, but maybe the Quad Cortex will do a better job at that. We're gonna do channel 3, once again, just as in the previous episodes, as that is the legendary channel that everybody loves so much. And for the real amplifier, we're gonna do the full analog rig. So the amp is going to my Fatbox, my Grossmann Fatbox with a V30, so a real 1x12 cabinet, mic'd up with 3 mics. This reactive load up here is only there to serve as a DI. Since it is feeding my real cabinet, I use that for creating the captures, for the DI captures to be precise. So when you hear the real amplifier, you're hearing a fully analog rig. Tube amplifier into a real cabinet with real mics, etc. Then I shot an IR of that exact cabinet setup, and that's what I'm using in the modeling platforms, including the Quad Cortex here. So as you can see, I have that IR loaded up in the IR block right there. And I'm only using that for the stock amp model. Anyway, let's get started with the comparisons. And we're gonna start with the Diezel VH4 Channel 3 amp model. So not a capture just yet. And let's see how accurate the amp model is. Let's take a listen. Okay, not bad. Not exactly the same, but I will say that in terms of that unique, quirky response, the Quad Cortex with the stock amp model is the closest one so far, in my opinion. Again, it's not exactly the same. Could be because they used a different specimen of the amplifier, or because perhaps they used a reactive load to create the model versus using a real cabinet, stuff like that. So it seems like the impedance interaction is a little bit different there. But, you know, it still sounds pretty good, and it does capture that sort of quirky VH4 character. However, I think we're going to get even closer with the captures. Let's start by taking a listen to a V1 capture that I made of the exact same settings as I used with the real amplifier, right? Let's take a listen. Interesting? Even closer, all right? So in terms of the overall frequency response and everything, it's quite close. Now with V1, I captured some of my amplifiers really accurately, like my Friedman BE100, my Prometheus, my 6505s and stuff. The Quad Cortex was able to capture those amplifiers really accurately with V1, so I have no plans to redo them with V2. But an amplifier like this with such quirky response, I think will benefit from V2. We'll check that out in a minute. However, I still think that the V1 sounds pretty close. It does lack a little bit of that three-dimensional dynamic quality that the real amplifier has, but it's absolutely the best thing so far in terms of accuracy. Okay, now let's go and check out the V2 capture. You know, again, same settings, but this time with the V2 algorithm and everything. Take a listen. All right, we're there. Finally, a really accurate representation, so an accurate model or capture of the Diezel VH4. V1 was already impressive, but V2 is even closer. It captures those really weird, splatty, dynamic nuances that the real amp has, and I'm super impressed. So that's why I decided to create a full capture pack with V2 captures of the entire amp with all the channels and stuff, because I was like, yes, this is accurate. So if you want, you know, a very realistic model of the amplifier with various settings, definitely check out my capture pack. So I'm impressed. It's really close, really close. Is it 100% there? I don't know. Maybe not 100% there, but very close indeed. Closer than anything else that I've tried so far. So I'm really stoked. Okay, so what I want to do now, let's get a little bit closer to the Quad Cortex, is just try all the sounds real quick so you guys can hear them, you know, by themselves and stuff. So let's start with the amp model. Again, with the IR loaded after it. Sounds really full and thick, and it feels great to play through. There was this one section in the song where I played some high notes. And I feel like the real amp had some really weird, like splatty character going on there. The overall EQ curve of this model isn't as accurate as I wanted it to be. But it's much closer than all the other ones so far. Now, I'm not saying that those sound bad. No, you can get some great tones out of all those other modelers for the Diezel models, but this one really comes closer to capturing those nuances. Now, let's check out the V1 capture. Yes, feels great, sounds great. There's nothing wrong with V1 captures. They use up less CPU power. They take less long to create. It's not 100% there. Let's take a listen to that riff that I just showed you with the splatty character. It does, you know, get pretty close. However, now let's try the V2 capture. You hear that interesting layer on the distortion? It's not really fizzy, it's sizzly in a nice way, in a very unique way, especially with the palm mute. Sounds a bit more static with the V1 capture. It's a bit more smooth with the stock amp. But the V2 captures all those nuances there. Yeah, so this comes really close to the real thing. Impressive, very impressive. Now, in case you're interested in my capture packs, I can show you what they look like real quick. So this pack has 4 presets, 2 presets with all the real cab captures. So, you know, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. And then 2 with the DI captures and a cab block. All right. Now, when you load up the first real cab capture preset, you get channel 3 in my favorite settings, so the same settings as you heard previously. But when you go to scenes mode, you know, you can also do the clean channel. Channel 2 for some nice crunchy tones. That's more like martially, etc. And then when we go to the next preset, you get more high gain tones. So this is channel 4. And various settings. So, you know, I did various mid control settings. Some people like a lot of mids with these amplifiers. So that's channel 4 with the mid control cranked. And then I also have one scene with a more scooped setting with a boost up front. That's why I included some scoop settings, because they work really well with boosts up front. Now, if we go to the DI preset, you know, you get the same sounds, but then with a cab block. And of course, you can use your own IRs with that as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because I'd love to know. I thought this was awesome and very interesting indeed. I love how it turned out, especially the V2 captures. Definitely the most accurate one so far, so I'm impressed. Now, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as that really helps the channel out. Again, drop a comment, and if you want to support this channel, you can get this capture pack in my web store, or get something at my affiliate links for Thomann, such as a Diezel amplifier or a Quad Cortex, or for Sweetwater. That really helps out the channel as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. I'm planning on doing Tonex, hopefully, but it takes a long time to create captures for that, so we'll see. But thanks so much for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.